Welcome to the 9 to 5 Solution, where we are a voice for business owners and for those thinking about launching a business. Now here is your host, Terrell Danzy.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the 9 to 5 radio show with your host, Terrell Danzy. I've got some special guests here in the studio with me. I got Mr. Kuniki, Lockett, and Mr. Jadon, Relaford sitting here with me. If you guys want to introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is Kuniki Lockett. I'm an intellectual property attorney. Been practicing about 15 years. I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia. You can find me on the LockettIP.com or at Kuniki@LockettIP.com.
Go ahead, Mr. Jadon.
Yeah, hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Jadon Relaford, or better known in the horsemanship world as Cowboy JD. You can find me at JD's Horse Ranch. That's Facebook, Instagram. Hit me up.
All right, thanks. I want to welcome you guys here to the show. Welcome all our listeners. It's our second show, so we're trying to bring you more information, more resources out there to get your businesses going or get them growing. So one thing I want to say is I hope everybody is safe. I know Florence is on the way, yes. So if you're not safe, and get to some safe land. So we try to start out the show with a quote, and you guys kind of jump in here too. So the cost of being wrong is less than the cost of doing nothing. So I'll just say it one more time. The cost of being wrong is less than the cost of doing nothing. So sometimes as business owners, we get scared, we get fearful, we don't want to step out, and we're scared of failure. But I think that sometimes if we just kind of hop out there and just do something versus not doing anything, we can start learning from our mistakes. So. Yeah,
I definitely agree with that, because if you don't try, then you never know what your full potential is.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was having a conversation with that with a friend of mine recently, actually yesterday.
Okay.
And it was along the lines of if we don't expose our kids to certain sports or certain events or different things like that, they'll never know what their potential is.
Right. Right.
Yeah, try it. What's the worst could happen?
Exactly. And I think our minds are set up to make mistakes. So once we make those mistakes, we kind of learn from them. We go back and do them again, and we try to perfect that. So, I mean, get out there and do it.
Do it.
You got nothing to lose.
Yeah, the cost of not trying is a decision as well. So.
Right.
Trying is a decision.
Exactly. So also try to bring some current news to you guys, to our listeners. Kind of trending now. Of course, Apple has released 3 new products. I think the iPhone. I think this their highest iPhone that they're releasing. The iPhone, the XS, the X Max, and the XR. So, and a new iPhone Watch. Yeah, Apple Watch. Right.
Yeah, I still got the second generation.
Well, the new Apple Watch now, it pretty much can detect heart disease. It's approved by the FDA. if you even fail, it actually could send your emergency contacts.
Oh, so you don't have to have those little monitors that they had back in the day.
Check your cholesterol level.
It does all of that, right?
Really?
Right.
I need to get one of those. I need to upgrade.
$5.99 though for the one with the cellular.
Right.
No. Oh yeah. See, mine don't even have cellular. I got mine because it's waterproof. I like the waterproof stuff.
Also, so I just read today, U.S. just hit the largest oil. So we're actually the largest oil producer in the world right now. So I mean,
who we have to thank for that?
Texas. So Texas is producing the mass oil. I mean, we haven't been the largest in 35 years. So that was something I seen today, which is pretty good.
But we became self-sufficient with oil under the Obama administration.
Exactly.
Yeah, we stopped having to import oil under the Obama administration.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to know a little bit about your business, what you do.
Okay.
You both jump in there, so let me know. Let our listeners know what you're doing.
Me? I'm eager. I'm excited.
So I'm going to call you JD because I think I'm going to mess your name up.
Yeah, call me JD. Cowboy JD. Call me Cowboy JD. It's all the same. So what I do is I offer services. I'm located in the Camp Creek area of Atlanta, the lower part of Atlanta. And the goal that I have is to offer horseback ride and just horsemanship to kids. I say mainly kids because those are the ones who I think that can in some cases benefit from it the most.
Sure.
Because they're not exposed to that as our different counterparts. Like in Roswell and up in North Georgia, they have all of these facilities and these great programs for kids with equine therapy and stuff like that.
Right.
Here on the South Side, we're slacking on that. So I want to kind of bridge that gap and offer that service so that our kids can have a fighting chance and, just have even playing field to be well-rounded individuals and productive citizens. So what I do is I have events out there, birthday parties. I offer trail rides. I do lessons. I have all of those things there on the property. It's a real vintage property, if you will.
So I mean, I know you get it all the time. You don't have too many black cowboys. So what made you get into?
Well, actually, before we get into that, there is a huge population of black cowboys in the Atlanta area.
Corrected.
We just don't see a lot of them.
Right.
But it's a lot of them. We're all over the place. But what got me into it, I've been like an avid animal lover since I was a little kid. I was riding horses since I was young. I used to go to Oklahoma with my uncle. We used to go out there and ride horses. I mean, I've had so many different animals growing up, from snakes, turtles, frogs, lizards, rabbits, alligators. We even had ostrich. Will you believe that? I had 2 ostriches growing up. We had ostrich. I mean, from ferrets. I mean, iguanas. Anything that you can imagine. If it was out there and I could catch it, I was going to bring it home.
And how long have you been doing this?
Man, JD's Horse Ranch has been official, like a business, for the past 2 years. I've been practicing with the horsemanship for probably, like, actively practicing it, consistently practicing it for probably like the last 7 years.
All right. So you told me you had 7 horses, right?
I have 7 horses.
I got some questions for you, but I'm gonna
let
Mr. Lockett talk about what he does.
Great.
All right, I'm an intellectual property attorney. I've been practicing about 15 years. And we have entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, startups, small businesses, and I've worked with major businesses, Samsung, AT&T, and IBM. But I love working with my entrepreneurs and my startups, though, because a lot of times we don't, especially people in our community, don't know the process of either getting a patent or a trademark or copyright. And it's very rewarding to guide them through that process to help them get their business established and get them on their way, and for them to actually own their intellectual property rather than they come up with these great ideas, they put them out there, they don't protect them, and they become vulnerable to other businesses who may want to take that idea and run with it.
So for our listeners that may not know, tell us the difference between a patent or trademark, and when should you go get a patent?
Yeah, a patent is a document that protects your idea. It protects ideas. Any inventions that you create, any unique features of an app that you might put out there, all of those ideas could be potentially protectable, and the patent protects those ideas. And you have a limited amount of time once you've introduced those ideas to the public to file for patent protection. Typically, really it's first to file now. The U.S. used to be on a 12-month system, so in the past, if you introduced an idea, you had 12 months to file a patent. But now it's more first to file. So as soon as an idea is introduced, the first person to file it has priority for that idea. So if you do have a idea that you're looking to protect, you want to file patent protection on it as quickly as possible. Another form of intellectual property is trademarks, which is actually the name of your business. Everybody knows the famous trademarks: Coca-Cola, Apple, IBM. There's different, types of trademarks that are available, but typically you want to work with your intellectual property attorney to protect the name of your business also as quickly as you can once you have a product available that you want to take to the market. The third type of protection is called copyrights. So if you've written software, if you've written a book, if you've written a song, you recorded music, created a painting, all of those things can be protected, with copyright protection. Copyright protection is probably the cheapest form of intellectual property.
Sure, that was my next question.
So it really behooves you. There's no reason why you shouldn't get copyright protection. Typically, a copyright costs maybe $35. And that type of protection you can pretty much file yourself. You can always hire an attorney to do it for you, but if you go to copyright.gov, they have a great website that walks you through the whole process, and it's very affordable. There's other types of intellectual property as well, including trade secrets, trade dress. But those are a little bit more complex, and we want to, you want to work with an attorney to deal with those.
So what's the cost of a patent or even the trademark?
Trademarks are, it really is going to depend on your legal costs.
Right.
They have flat government fees that are associated with these.
Okay.
And there's different tiers of government fees. There's something like, for example, if you're filing a patent, and say you're an individual, you never filed a patent before, and you make less than $150,000 a year, then you can file what's considered micro-entity status, which means you pay 25% of the total cost. You basically get a 75% discount off the price.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. If you make more than 150, but you have a company that employs less than 500 employees, then you can be considered what's called a small entity, and you only pay 50% of the total cost.
Okay.
But if you're an IBM or Coca-Cola, then you're going to pay full price.
Right.
Yeah. And the cost changes from year to year, but typically fees for filing a patent for a micro-entity, maybe around $600 as far as the government fees go. Your lawyer is going to have additional fees.
I'm sure. I'm gonna jump over to JD. You mentioned you've got 7 ranches, so tell me the cost. I mean, seven horses.
No,
7 horses.
No, go ahead and speak that. I got 7 ranches.
7 ranches.
We got franchises.
Into existence.
Well, you're gonna need Kuniki to actually get you.
I need you.
The trademark.
Yes. We got to get all of that protected. Yeah.
So tell me what's the cost of running a ranch?
Man, a lot. A lot. I started off with just like one horse, and all my life I always wanted my own horse. But, just listening to different people, everybody was saying that it's so expensive to own a horse. And then when I had an opportunity to, I'll just tell you the backstory, short version of how I actually came across my first horse. She was a rescue horse. When I got her, when I first saw her, they were offering to give me the horse.
Right.
Not asking me to pay for the horse just because of the condition that she was in. If I showed you pictures of her, you'd probably break down and cry. She was just skin and bones. So I had a choice. Do I get this horse for free that I have to nurse back to health, not knowing how much money I would have to put into this horse to get her weight up and vet fees and all these different things like this? Or do I go out tomorrow or today, buy me a horse that I can ride right now? So I went home and I prayed about it and I thought about it, and the decision that I made was to invest in this horse, because I would have felt bad if I went and bought another horse,
right,
and then that horse died.
Gotcha.
So I invested in her. It took me about 6 months to get her up to a weight where I can actually get on her back and ride her.
Right.
So with that,
is it easy to learn to ride a horse?
Is it easy to learn to ride a horse? With Cowboy JD, it's very easy to learn how to ride a horse. Come on out, I'll show you. It's easy. So my youngest student he started out when he was 5 years old. He rides by himself now.
Okay.
It's really easy. My mother comes out there to ride. I have a lot of friends and family that do come out and support the ride. It's easy.
Sure.
A lot of times, I say it's easy depending on the person. It depends on you and your comfort level, how well you are to get comfortable. If you can follow directions, you can ride a horse. Easy.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm coming out.
But again, the cost is a lot.
I know. I think
cost of ownership.
Yes. Right, of ownership. Not to come out to the ranch. Right. It's real affordable to come out to the ranch.
Yeah,
right.
I think I read somewhere owning a horse is like a car note, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's a lot that go into it. So that's why a lot of times, because we've all seen like stories on the news about people and neglecting their horses and stuff like that. I'm probably going to be the last person to judge somebody because I know how much it is or what it takes to actually keep a horse up. And then you have some horses who just naturally, like myself, are just naturally slim.
Okay. Okay. Well, you hold that thought. We're going to a commercial break real quick.
Rejuvenation for youthfulness and beauty is trending worldwide. People are getting laser hair removal, Botox, dermal fillers, skin brightening, tightening, lifting, and reshaping. Smartplex ATL, a comprehensive medical spa located in East Cobb, 4799 Old Town Parkway. You can also visit us online at smartplexatl.com. Dr. Alexander and his team enjoy pampering you while you receive customized treatments in a beautiful, calming, zen-like atmosphere. Smartplex ATL, We are your Hollywood destination for exciting, youthful rejuvenation.
Hi there, healthy people. Do you have a healthy product or service? If you are a certified medical professional, fitness trainer, author, or chef, Old Fashioned Health would love to promote your services or product on the Old Fashioned Health radio show. Please reach out to us. Call 404-793-3960 or email us at oldfashionedhealth@gmail.com. You can also contact us at oldfashionedhealth.com. Old Fashioned Health, good health inside and out.
All right, we're back on the air. You're listening to the 9 to 5 radio show. So my question is for Mr. Kuniki Lockett here. Tell us about some of the entrepreneurs and the business owners that you worked with, some of the challenges, and because I'm sure you see it every day.
Oh, yeah. Well, I can't get into too much detail about
Of
specific
course.
entrepreneurs. I certainly think it's an attorney-client privilege, but...
Of course. You would say that as an attorney.
But probably the biggest challenge is just educating inventors and sometimes managing their expectations.
Sure.
Because a lot of times people come with an idea and they think, okay, just get a patent for this idea and I put it on the market and I'm going to be a millionaire in the next year or so.
Right.
Well, first of all, when you file a patent, it may take years. We've worked with clients. They weren't my specific clients. They came later.
Right.
After they had worked with other attorneys. But they have been going through the patent process for 10 years.
So there's something called a patent pending. Is that so you get the rights? So can you explain that?
Yeah. So as soon as you file a patent application, whether it be any type of patent application, whether it be a provisional patent, they exist for about 12 months. You have to convert them to what's called either utility patent or design patent or plant patent. But typically, the process is you file your patent application. Most time, if things go well, you can go from filing to patent within about 2 to 3 years.
Right.
And as soon as you file that patent application, you can mark your product as patent pending.
Right.
Because you are literally patent pending.
Right.
Okay. And as soon as you're granted a patent number, you begin to mark your that patent number on your product to say this invention or this concept of this product is protected by patent numbers. Such and such and such and such.
Right. And that patent lasts, 20 years? Is that right?
Yeah, so it lasts about 20 years from the date of filing, give or take. There's a certain thing called patent term adjustment where if the patent office makes an error or something causes the patent to be delayed, you may get additional time.
Okay.
But typically it's about 20 years from the date of filing.
Okay. What about trademarks? They're forever, is that right?
Yeah, trademarks are pretty much forever as long as you protect them and defend them. There's a opportunity for your trademark to become generic.
Okay.
The most famous case was Xerox initially for years. When Xerox first came out the first copier, people just started referring to copies as Xerox.
Right.
And then so other Toshiba and other people came out with copiers, and even when you're using the Toshiba, you said, I'm using the Xerox. And so it became a generic term. And so Xerox had to go back and reassert their trademark saying, no, when you're referring to Xerox, you're referring to Xerox products.
Right.
We make copies.
Right.
So they had to make that distinction. And even now, Uber is probably going through that because even when you take a Lyft, you probably say,
I'm in the Uber. Right. I say that same thing. Yeah.
So you have to constantly defend and reassert your patent. Your trademark over time to make sure it doesn't become generic, and especially if you're first to market like an Uber.
Right.
You definitely want to make sure you're distinguished from anybody that may come after you.
Okay.
So.
So my next question is for both of you. You run successful businesses. What has made you successful?
Trial and error. Okay. Failing.
Same here.
Like we were talking about earlier, just actually, I know me, myself personally, just actually stepping out and actually doing, walking in the vision that God had given me. You know, just walking it and trusting and trying to get connected with some amazing people who can do some amazing things and help me out amazing.
And networking and like you said, connecting with the positive people who are doing positive things, who are moving forward in life. Connecting with those type of people. Having those conversations with people and also just giving,
right?
Just being a giving person.
Yes.
You'd be amazed how much stuff comes back to you just from giving.
Right. No, you're right.
100%.
You're right. You're right.
100%.
Both of you are right. You'd be surprised at when you give, like how much you start receiving back, and not that you're looking to give any or receive anything back,
right.
but you're looking to deposit into others, and it starts to come back to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because like for me, being in this area of intellectual property, there aren't many black intellectual property attorneys in this country. Probably there aren't many intellectual property attorneys. Period. That's why they're so expensive, because there aren't many of them.
Right.
But there specifically aren't many black ones, and to be able to work with entrepreneurs and startups, especially in the black community, and guide them through this process, that's rewarding in itself. And to be able to share that information, we had a client recently who was 84 years old, and she was applying for a patent.
Oh wow!
And that was just like, that was the most heartwarming thing for me
Right,
to do that
right.
when I was work with her in her project. So just to be able to give back to our community and see it help us grow.
The one thing that shocked me after looking at some of these numbers were over 50% of new businesses started monthly the age group is from 55 to 81, which was it was shocking. But that's what the age group is, 55 to 81. They're starting businesses. That's 50% of the businesses started in the U.S. right now.
Wow.
They have the resources, though.
Yeah, exactly. You both probably said it while you were talking, but what's the number one thing? You both live here in Atlanta. What's the number one thing or your ultimate goal to give back to the community? You both have businesses, have a lot of knowledge. What is it that you're striving to do?
What I'm striving to do is really to pour into the youth, the kids.
Right.
I see that there's a big need of mentorship, of just like positive black role models, men, positive black strong men in the community to step up and be a role model to these kids and just love on them, just to help them get through, just being a kid.
Right.
I realize that it's a big difference. And kids are they're more exposed to a lot of different things than when I was younger. The internet and these cell phones and tablets and different things like that, they make it so much easier for kids to be exposed to life,
right?
Adult life at that. So what I want to do is just offer a different avenue, something just to redirect their attention from video games. And just do some stuff hands-on. Like I've done fishing, I've done mentorship with fishing, we've done camping, hiking, all that kind of stuff. Just being out in nature and just enjoying it. I really want to pour into the kids.
Okay, nice.
One of my big motivations is to be, is the 9-to-5 solution, is to encourage black entrepreneurs and minorities to, go out and start that business. Don't be afraid. Go out and do it. Mm-hmm. I have to say, even for myself, I was working for a firm, in DC, doing well, and I had a buddy, a white buddy. He's like one of my best friends, and his wife was pregnant, and he had only been at the firm for maybe a year and a half, and he said, well, I think I'm just going to go out on my own. I can probably, support myself and do just as well if I was working on my own. And I'm thinking, like, are you crazy? You're giving up health care. Right. You're giving up this nice salary. And
Wife's
like,
pregnant now.
And your wife is, I think at the time she was about like 5 months pregnant. I was like, what are you thinking about, dude? And sure enough, he went ahead and did it, and he's been doing it ever since. And that was probably about, maybe 12 years ago. Wow. And, and he's making it happen. Shout out to Chris Mitchell IP.
Yeah, nice.
And so we could do it too. I mean, they just showed me, like, if he can do it, and if he's willing to do it while his wife is 5 months pregnant, then we can do it. Then I can do it too, and we can do it.
Yeah, sometimes, I know me, you have to move when it's not necessarily, in your mind, the best time to move. Yeah. But sometimes you'll be put in a position where it's okay, like you gotta move, you gotta step out there and do that. Like my situation was completely different. Like I know that I've been wanting to do JD's Horse Ranch full time, but it was that fear of stepping out and being a business owner and like solely depending on myself to pay Georgia Power and the mortgage and all that, just totally dependent on myself. And it was like, all right, man, this is a big step. But then I was put in a position where it's like, okay, forced to do it, and I'm like, man, I'm grateful. I have good days, I have bad days, but when I think about the purpose, my purpose, the reason that I'm doing it, it makes it all worth it.
So JD, Kuniki, what do you think that fear is? Do you think it's a mixture of finances or feeling like you're incompetent, not knowing enough? I
think it's everything. I mean, it's the fear of failure. It's the fear of disappointing people. It's the fear of not achieving or not being what you want to be.
Right.
It's a lot of it.
Yeah. And like you said, and just paying bills, just living day to day.
Right.
That's a big fear.
Right.
You know,
I mean, I know
you don't have an income coming in other than what you're generating yourself.
Right.
So that becomes, that's a big barrier for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I first launched the business, I was looking out the window every day, making sure Duke Energy wasn't coming to cut my stuff off, my water wasn't cut off.
Repossess the car. I'm like,
right. It's a big step, and it's a risk.
It is.
I tell you, I actually learned a valuable lesson at a business forum with Candy Burris. Of all people, well, not of all people, because she's
great.
She's great. She's an example. And she mentioned that one of the things that when she first started out, that she didn't go buy the luxury cars. She didn't go buy the extravagant things when she began to get money, because later on down the road, when it came time to do that record deal, she didn't have all these bills sitting over here waiting.
Right.
That was putting pressure on her to accept whatever deal she got.
Right.
Right. So she had all her finances under control, so she could sit back and demand the deal that she
be the
wanted.
boss.
Right.
That deal that she wanted. And I think that, at least until we get established, I think that's an important thing to keep in mind, to, think ahead about what you really want. Really have a plan from the beginning, and be thinking long term, not short term. And and so when those opportunities come across your desk, then you get to set the terms. You don't have to be dictated by someone else's terms, because you're under all these pressures to pay all these bills.
Right. So we're cutting it close to time. So real quick, next steps for both of you.
Good question.
I put you on the spot. Next steps for your business. What would you like to see your business do?
Next step for JD's Horse Ranch. The vision of JD's Horse Ranch. I don't even know if I should show it. I share part of the vision, because I don't have that patent yet, and I don't have a trademark.
You don't have a trademark?
Right, I don't have a trademark.
So it's a conversation after the show.
Yes, definitely.
That's new business. Do I get a finder's fee for this?
I want to be able to offer the services of like a retreat.
Okay.
Like a place where people can just come, relax, get away from Atlanta, the city life, or wherever they're coming from.
Right.
Just to get away, just relax and enjoy nature and the country scene.
Nice.
I enjoy writing patents, so I'd probably be doing patent law till I die. However, one of my main goals now is to develop passive income.
Sure.
So my whole goal is to invest in continue to invest in real estate and develop that passive income. So, working becomes more of a choice than a requirement.
Yeah. Right.
And so that's the next big step for me.
Nice.
Right. That's good, because I need property.
Well, I want to thank you both for coming in the studio, sharing with our listeners. You've been listening to the 9 to 5 radio show. Tune in next Thursday at 1 p.m.
Thank you for tuning in to the 9 to 5 Solution, encouraging listeners to think differently on purpose. The 9 to 5 Solution airs every Thursday at 1 p.m. on WWE The Real 1100 AM.
Thank you for listening to another Old Fashioned Health Network show on The Real 1100.